What's up, guys? We are back here today at the Parker Performance Lab, and again today we've got our EcoBoost test motor here with us. And what we're going to do today is the BNR525 and the BNR600 turbos have been selling like hotcakes, and we've done several installs here now, and we usually use the EMS No Grind Kit. However, we're aware that you guys may not have the additional $100 to buy that, so we wanted to go ahead and take the time to show you how to handle it without using the EMS No Grind Kit. This is going to be a pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You're going to need basically three tools. You're going to need a Sharpie, some sort of measuring instrument, and a flap wheel disc on a 4-inch die grinder, or something of similar cutting utility, because you're going to need to come into this block right here that's on your behind where your turbo compressor is. The turbo compressor is going to hang down and actually hit this. So you're going to need to remove about 1/2 of this. This is about 25 millimeters in offset from where the actual sleeve inside here is for the cylinder. We need to get about half of that gone. You're going to leave about 12 millimeters of that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're just going to place a measurement here. We're going to place a marking. We're going to place a marking with our Sharpie, and then we're going to get to grinding. As always, you can see I'm prepared with safety, right? I've got my glasses, I've got my ear muffs. We're going to curse, ear muffs. And so we're going to get to grinding. So just something I thought about as we were standing here doing B-roll is that obviously that is aluminum. You're going to get a lot of aluminum chips everywhere, real fine aluminum chips. That's why we went ahead and taped up the stuff. I just would suggest before you move on, make sure you use some sort of compressed air or something and blow all of those chips off. And one thing to note, if you guys are scared of this, or you think, oh my God, what am I doing? Is this going to ruin my block? I just want you to know that we use this same exact process on the GT market for our GT customers who are running Roush blowers. We have to trim a larger section actually off of the engine. It's actually on the timing cover for the GTs, but still, my car makes over 800 horsepower with a modified timing cover with this same exact process. So I don't foresee it being anything that's going to be an issue for you guys. So fear not, go ahead and grind or buy the No Grind Kit. Either way, we're here to help you guys provide solutions. Okay, so we're back with our safety gear, and we're just going to take a measurement and put the marking on. We're going to use our calipers here. And if you look, it's on this side, it's about 21 millimeters. On this side here, it's a little bit deeper, it's like 25 millimeters. So we're going to mark about half of that. We're going to go to about 12 millimeters. About 12 millimeters. Let's put a dot here for now. I'm going to go about 12 millimeters. Okay, so what we've done now is we've set our caliper here. We set it to about 12 millimeters. We've gone in, we've pressed that up against the cylinder wall there. We've got our 12 millimeters. I just put a dot there to start with, and then I just took my dot and kind of made a straight line from it. So that way I have a guide, so that way when we're using our flap wheel, we can kind of see where we're at, and then we'll test it once we're done cutting. Alexa!
Yeah.
Are you scared of it, Yus?
Yes, I am. Go ahead. Go off.
All right, we got our safety equipment. Try not to do that. Didn't do anything, obviously. It's just going to be polishing up here, but if you can avoid that, we want to try and avoid that. It's just Rick's block, we don't care.
Keep going back in.
Okay, so all jokes aside, you do want to have safety equipment. As you can see, and we didn't touch on it when we started grinding, but we did take the precautions to, these aren't being used. This was just a test block, so this isn't something that we're using. But in the event that we were using these lines would all get covered. You see, we are going to be using this drain line at some point, so we covered that. We didn't want any shards getting in it. The cylinder head is obviously going to be used. We didn't want anything getting in there. Is it probably a big deal that it gets in there? Maybe not, but precautionary is smart. One of the things we did is, in this instance, we'd already removed the turbo for the turbo swap. If you've seen our turbo removal video, you know that I busted loose the 17 mil so that I could turn our feed line up out of our way so we would have the area to put our new turbo in. By doing that, that gave me the area in here to put my 4-inch flap disc in here and be able to get in here to modify this and not worry about hitting the line. You could remove that if you'd like, but having it out of the way, you can even see here the bottom side of my die grinder was actually touching this outer rib here while I was getting this bottom angle here. Even still, that's not going to damage anything, it's not going to hurt anything. Just make sure that you're focused on getting this for the right clearance. You don't want to be hitting a bunch of stuff, obviously, but this little bit here is not going to impact anything in any adverse manner. So this is it. You got to remeasure it and double check, and I've got the BNR turbo here next to me, so we could check it first. Let's see if we are pretty close to that 12 to 13-ish mils. We're right at 11 millimeters on the closest to the front there. And then on the back side, we are at roughly 15, 16 millimeters. So we do need to check that because I should have a little bit more meat to take off this back side. And actually, if you come this way, you can actually kind of see that my line is still there. And so I was working on the line from the front as opposed to this line from the back because this was much more difficult to see. My lighting is coming in from this side, so I was using the line from the front. So we're gonna test the BNR up against it, but in the event that it doesn't fit, 100% you could bet it's because I didn't take this last little sliver off. So I'll need to come back in here and trim that smooth. Place the gasket there on the studs. And as you can see, it looks like it is gonna touch a little bit right there on that back section. So I am gonna go smoother on that back section to flatten that out all the way down to my line. And then we'll test it again and you should be able to wrap up your grind. All right, so we're just gonna go back in and trim up that back line now, and that should finish up our grinding. Flat against the cylinder head. How are we looking there, Yusuf? We got clearance?
My side looks amazing.
We've got clearance. Okay, we're all set. So, simple, couple tools, couple minutes, a little bit of patience, a little bit of precaution, right? Some safety to keep the block healthy, some safety to keep yourself healthy, and then just a couple minutes of slow and controlled grinding. You should be able to do this in a handful of minutes, even in the car. Of course, if you're doing a built boo like this, you should do it before you put it in the car. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you for tuning in. We try to bring all of the EcoBoost goodies to you guys, and hopefully this is something that you found useful. As always, make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you come back to www.pp-fl.com to buy your BNR turbos, to buy your tunes for the BNR turbos, to buy the no grind kits for your BNR turbos. All that and more. We'll see you next time.